This is an urgent warning direct from a celestial message transmitted by Saint Michael the Archangel. We are facing serious events that can transform the course of history, but here is the crucial point. While many ignore the signs, you will now have access to information that can prepare your mind, body, and spirit for what is to come. This message is not for everyone. It is for those who are ready to act. If you are not yet, stay with me until the end, because what I will reveal here can be the difference between being prepared or being caught by surprise. We are talking about impending global changes, natural disasters that are already lurking, diseases that emerge as silent threats, and the advance of forces that many refuse to believe. These are the events that Saint Michael the Archangel called the beginning of the purification. Do you really want to ignore this? If you have already noticed that the world is different, that there is something wrong with the rhythm of things, you are not alone. These transformations are not coincidences. They were predicted and are now happening before our eyes. Think of the deep tremors that will open fissures in the earth, in volcanoes, sleeping ones who will return to life, and in the diseases that are about to completely change the way we live. Time is running out, but before any action, there is a choice to be made. This is your opportunity to prepare yourself. However, only those who listen to this message until the end will understand what is really at stake. For a long time, we have been more at risk than it seems. We are talking about spiritual changes and the final fight between good and evil. You can be prepared for all of this. Just imagine, while most ignore, those who connect with this will have the knowledge and clarity to face what is coming. If you leave now, you will miss the chance to understand how these prophecies apply directly to your life, and worse still, you may miss the opportunity to act before it is too late. So, if you seek the truth about what is happening in the world, and if you want to be among the few who understand what all this means, stay with me throughout this video. I will reveal the most impactful messages and warnings that can change your life. This is the time to open your eyes, listen, and act. Don't leave before watching until the last minute. Your understanding of upcoming events will never be the same. Have you noticed that lately the world seems to be changing at a frighteningly fast pace? The Archangel, in a message transmitted on January 4th, 2025, leaves no doubt that we are facing a period of great global events, and the time to react is running out. This is a crucial moment in the history of humanity, a true spiritual and physical crossroads. But what exactly is happening? To understand the present and prepare for the future, we need to delve into the context of these revelations. The message of Saint Michael is not just a warning, it is an invitation to reflection, to change, and above all, to preparation. According to him, this is the time of purification, an inevitable process that comes to separate those who seek the truth from those who choose indifference amidst the relentless hustle and bustle of contemporary routine. This journey of spiritual rediscovery invites you to embrace a new perspective where each verse and each prayer become instruments of healing and personal enlightenment, rescuing the joy of living with purpose and unshakable faith. With direct guidance, inspiring reflections, and practical tools, The material was collected to help build an inner refuge even in the face of the most intense adversities. It is not just an invitation to read, but an opportunity to forge a solid bond with the divine by allowing each word to envelop you. You will experience a genuine transformation where peace and clarity become constant companions, illuminating your journey with certainty that the divine guides each step towards a future full of love, overcoming, and gratitude. This is not just symbolic. It will be felt in every aspect of life. Natural resources such as earths and volcanoes, unknown planets arise silently, a cycle of chaos. These signs are already around us, but few are attentive to recognize what they mean. In addition, Saint Michael warns us about something even more disturbing: the spiritual struggle that unfolds behind these physical manifestations. He speaks of a society divided between those who seek conversion and those who reject the truth, choosing a path of selfishness and materialism. This division is the reflection of a much larger battle that involves forces that go beyond our understanding. But why is this message so important now? Because it is not only a warning, but also a guide. Saint Michael asks us to open our eyes, to abandon selfishness, and begin to seek a more spiritual life. For many, this may seem abstract, but think about what he is really saying. Survival will not be only physical, but also emotional and spiritual. Those who are prepared both inside and outside will have a better chance of resisting what is to come. We are therefore faced with a scenario that demands immediate action. It is no longer possible to ignore the signs or wait for things to return to normal. The changes are already happening, and the only choice left is how will each of us react to them. Will we continue to seek comfort in distraction and denial, or will we take this moment to reevaluate our lives and seek a greater purpose? This message, conveyed through the visionary Luz de Maria, is not just for those who already have faith, but also for those who are still searching for answers. She challenges us all to look beyond the superficial, to reflect on our daily choices, and to ask, are we living according to what really matters? Throughout this video, you will discover what Saint Michael revealed about the next steps that each person must take to be prepared, and the more you will understand how these changes will impact not only the world around you but also your inner self. This is the time to wake up to the truth, because ignoring it now could mean missing the opportunity to act when there is still time. Stay with me and see how all this connects directly with what is about to happen. Imagine for a moment a world that transforms before your eyes. Saint Michael the Archangel, in his warning message, revealed a series of events that are about to happen, not as distant possibilities, but as certainties that are rapidly approaching. The Earth is about to face drastic changes, and the way we react to them will define the future of each one of us. According to the message, the Earth is screaming, its deep tremors tearing the ground, causing earthquakes of intensity never before recorded. Gigantic sails will divide the Earth, altering the geographic map as we know it. In addition, volcanoes dormant for centuries will be awakened by forces that not even science can predict. Think about the consequences: cities covered in ash, displaced populations, and a landscape that will never be the same. But the changes don't stop there. These geological catastrophes will be accompanied by a wave of new and unknown diseases, some so devastating that they will make recent pandemics seem like just a prelude. Illnesses are once again keeping the world in suspense, said Saint Michael, warning that we are only beginning to see the impact of these silent threats. However, these events are not just natural disasters or health crises. They represent something much bigger: global purification. Saint Michael explained that these transformations are like a sieve, separating those who are willing to transform themselves spiritually from those who remain stuck in the worldly mindset. It is a choice between good and evil, between light and darkness. For those who think that all this sounds like exaggeration or fantasy, Saint Michael was direct. The prophecies are not just words, but truths that unfold every day. Those who ignored these warnings, who mocked the heavenly messages, will witness with astonishment the exact fulfillment of each revelation. Will you be prepared to recognize the signs when they happen? These events will also bring about a deep spiritual reflection. Saint Michael asks us to abandon our obsession with the material and raise our gaze to the things above. This means that in addition to dealing with the chaos around us, we will need to face an internal transformation, setting aside the ego, pride, and the search for power will be essential to find the right path in the midst of darkness. Furthermore, the Archangel mentions a global system of control, the system of the Antichrist, which will influence those who cannot resist the temptation to seek personal advantages to the detriment of the collective good. This division between the faithful and the indifferent will be a mark of the times to come. But not everything is despair. Despite the gravity of the events, there is a promise of hope for those who seek conversion. For those who strive for a more spiritual life, there will be divine protection and guidance. Saint Michael and the heavenly legions will be present, helping those who choose to walk in the light. Now, what will you do with this information? The choices you make today will determine how you will face the events that are about to happen. Will you continue living as if we were not in control, or will you start acting to prepare and strengthen your spiritual connection? In the next point, we will explore the internal conflict that each of us will face in this purification process, a battle that will be as intense as the external changes. Stay with me, because understanding this internal struggle can be the key to surviving what is coming. The greatest battle we will face in the times ahead will not be against natural disasters or devastating diseases, but against ourselves. Saint Michael the Archangel revealed that true purification begins in the heart of each individual, where an invisible war is already being fought. This war is not against external enemies, but against our own instincts, desires, and weaknesses. Think about it. How many times have you criticized others, judged their choices, or pointed out other people's mistakes, but avoided looking at yourself? This is a reflection of the egocentric mentality that Saint Michael urges us to abandon. He describes this as one of the greatest obstacles to our transformation: pride, the search for being always above others, and contempt for the humble creator blockage that prevents us from seeing what really matters. But why is this so dangerous? Because in this state of spiritual blindness, we become vulnerable to the forces that divert us from the correct path. It is easy to fall into temptation when we are disconnected from what is highest. As Saint Michael said, "Thought governs you and leads you to sin," and this is not a metaphor. How many times have your decisions been influenced by fear, desire, or vanity instead of genuine values? This is the essence of internal conflict, the constant choice between feeding the lowest instincts or raising our gaze to what really matters. Saint Michael warns us that there is no middle ground. Those who remain trapped in materialism, selfishness, and the incessant search for power will not find the way back when purification intensifies. And there is another detail. This conflict is not only individual, it is reflected on a global scale, creating divisions in entire societies. There are those who are turning to spirituality, seeking answers and trying to live in a way more aligned with greater values, but also those who, driven by pride and greed, will continue to reinforce power systems that crush the weakest. This division is the root of the chaos we see in the world. Saint Michael draws attention to the urgency of acting now while there is still time. He invites us to respect others and seek genuine transformation. It is not about a superficial change, but a true commitment to the search for the common good and spirituality. And how to do this? Saint Michael gives a clear tip. It is time to open the senses. This means being attentive to the signs around us and within ourselves. The practice of humility, of prayer, and of fasting are not just rituals, but tools to win this internal war. When you learn to renounce excess, whether it is food, vanity, or distractions, you begin to regain control over yourself and find the strength to resist. In this moment, the world is divided into two paths. One leads to conversion, to light, and to eternal life. The other leads to spiritual emptiness, darkness and destruction. And where are you right now? This is not a rhetorical question. It is the most important choice you will make in the next few minutes. Let's explore how this internal conflict directly connects to the purification of humanity and the crucial role each of us plays in this process. Don't leave now, because the next step will be to understand how purification transforms both the planet and our souls. What purification really means in the message of Saint Michael the Archangel is seen as an inevitable process, something that humanity can no longer postpone. It is more than a series of physical events. It is a profound transformation designed to separate what is true from what is false, what is spiritual from what is worldly. But for many, this purification will be painful. Imagine a gigantic sieve separating the wheat from the chaff. This is the moment when the choices we have made throughout our lives will have clear consequences. There is no more room for neutrality or living in the comfort zone. Saint Michael makes it clear that this purification will be felt at all levels, in the body, mind, and soul. First, purification begins on the physical plane. The geological events mentioned, earthquakes, volcanoes, and drastic climate changes are just the surface. They symbolize a shaking up of the material world, a reminder that nothing is permanent and that we cannot hold on to what we have here. For many, this will be a call to let go. Homes, possessions, status, everything we have built can be shaken in a moment. But the physical impact is just the beginning. The deeper purification happens within each of us. Saint Michael urges us to abandon the worldly mentality full of pride and selfishness, and to adopt a new way of thinking, a mentality turned upwards to spirituality. This does not mean ignoring reality, but rather learning to see it with new eyes. It is a process of renouncing the old self, that version of ourselves that clings to the superficial and the material. And here is the crucial point: no one will escape this process. No matter your belief or position in society, purification will come to everyone. The world has been described as divided between those who will seek conversion and those who will resist it by clinging to pride and unbelief. The difference is that those who accept purification as a necessary step will find a path to renewal. On the other hand, those who resist will face even more difficulties. Saint Michael warns us that refusing to change, to let go of the ego and the incessant search for power, will take us away from the light and plunge us even deeper into spiritual darkness. And this is a choice that each of us needs to make now, before it's too late. Purification also involves facing the discomfort of looking within. This means confronting our failures, our fears, and our past choices. This is why Saint Michael insists so much on the importance of fasting, prayer, and personal conversion. These are not only symbolic acts, they are practical ways of preparing the soul for what is to come. But despite the seriousness of this process, there is a promise of hope. Saint Michael reminds us that the ultimate goal of purification is not to destroy, but to renew. Just as a field needs to be plowed before it can receive new seeds, humanity needs to go through this painful stage to become something better. We are therefore faced with a unique opportunity. This is the time to abandon everything that prevents us from growing spiritually. It is the time to strengthen ourselves and prepare our body and soul for the challenges that will come. It will not be easy, but the reward will be immeasurable, a future where we will be closer to the light, more connected to the divine, and more prepared to face the trials that are yet to come. In the next point, we will explain the crucial role of spirituality in this purification process, and how it can be the foundation that supports our transformation. Don't miss the next step of this journey. In times of uncertainty, spirituality becomes the beacon that guides us through turbulent seas. In the message of Saint Michael the Archangel, it is clear that the true transformation of humanity cannot happen without a deep connection with the divine. At the heart of purification is the need to rediscover our spiritual essence, to raise our thoughts beyond earthly distractions. But what does this spiritual search mean in practice? First, Saint Michael invites us to open our eyes to what really matters. He warns us about how we become obsessed with worldly things, status, power, money, and momentary pleasures. While we are stuck in this race, that which gives meaning to life, the greater purpose, the love for others, and faith is lost. This spiritual disconnection is, according to Saint Michael, the root of many of the problems we face today. We live in an era where faith is constantly challenged, where spiritual values are ridiculed or ignored. However, it is exactly these values that can save us in the most difficult moment. He emphasizes that we will only be able to overcome the challenges of purification if we are anchored in something greater than ourselves. This anchoring begins with small acts. Prayer is mentioned as a powerful tool, not only to seek protection, but to realign our priorities. When we pray, we connect with divine energy and create space for light to enter our lives. And it is not just about mechanically repeated words. True prayer comes from the heart of surrender, of recognition that we need something beyond us to move forward. Furthermore, Saint Michael calls us to seek spiritual communion. This means looking beyond ourselves and recognizing the importance of the collective. We cannot walk this path alone. Spirituality is strengthened when shared. Participating in celebrations, attending the Most Holy Sacrament, and creating moments of unity with others who share the same quest are essential steps. Another crucial aspect is detachment. For many, the idea of giving up material things is scary, but it is a requirement to achieve true spiritual peace. Saint Michael reminds us that everything we accumulate here on earth, goods, riches, even our own pride, is fleeting. What really matters is what we cultivate within ourselves: compassion, humility, and faith. But he also alerts us to the distractions and temptations that try to lead us away from this path. We live in a world that constantly offers easy shortcuts, quick solutions, instant pleasures, and promises of happiness through material means. These shortcuts, although tempting, take us away from true spirituality. Saint Michael invites us to seek strength to say no to what does not serve our greater purpose. Spirituality is therefore more than a religious practice, it is a lifestyle. It is a conscious decision of living with purpose, to seek the light in every action, thought, and decision. It is about finding balance in an unbalanced world and standing firm when everything around seems to be falling apart. Finally, Saint Michael reminds us that spirituality is the key to facing times of purification. It is what keeps us strong in the face of chaos and helps us find meaning even in difficult times. It invites us to look up, to trust in the divine plan, and to believe that even in the darkest moments, hope lies in the next step. Let's explore how the strength of the collective and spiritual union can be indispensable tools to go through this journey together. If you think you are alone, get ready to discover the power of unity at the right time. None of us can face the challenges that are coming alone. Saint Michael the Archangel made it clear that in times of purification, unity will be one of our greatest strengths. And this goes beyond just being together physically. It is about creating a network of spiritual, emotional, and even physical support capable of sustaining us in the most difficult moments. Isolation has been a characteristic of modern times. We are more connected than ever by technology, but increasingly distant from each other in essence. It's as if we were living in bubbles where individualism has taken the place of empathy. Saint Michael warns us that this mentality needs to change at a time when the world is about to face such profound transformations. The ability to work together will be what determines who will make it through this period. Unity begins with small gestures. We often underestimate the power of a community, a group that prays together, that shares resources, and supports each other. Saint Michael reminds us that the strength of a group lies in its diversity. Each one of us has something to offer, whether it's a word of encouragement, a practical talent, or simply a welcoming presence that gives security in times of uncertainty. This union, however, is not only practical, it is deeply spiritual. When we come together to pray, to share faith and hope, we create a collective energy that strengthens us. Saint Michael calls this one voice, a unity that not only sustains us, but also attracts divine protection. Imagine the power of hundreds of thousands of people praying together, seeking the same light. This is not just symbolic, it is transformative. Another crucial point is the idea of collaboration in times of crisis. During the aforementioned events, natural disasters, diseases, and global changes, there will be times when the only way to survive will be by helping and being helped. The individualism that has dominated our society until now will be an obstacle, while solidarity will be the solution. That is why Saint Michael insists so much on the importance of learning to respect and care for each other. Furthermore, he warns us about the dangers of uniting for the wrong reasons. In his message, Saint Michael mentions those who, instead of seeking the common good, will choose power and manipulation by joining the system of the Antichrist. This serves as a reminder that unity only has value when it is guided by correct principles, love, compassion, justice, and truth. The strength of the collective also protects us against despair. In times of great tribulation, it is easy to feel that we are alone, that no one else understands what we are going through. But when we are surrounded by people who share the same faith and the same goals, we are reminded that we are not alone. This sense of belonging is essential to maintain hope alive. Finally, Saint Michael challenges us to create support networks now. Don't wait for chaos to start connecting with other people. Join prayer groups, help those in need, and be open to receiving help when necessary. This is the time to strengthen the bonds that will sustain us in the future. In the next point, we will explore an even more practical aspect of Saint Michael's message: how to prepare for the health threats and physical challenges that will accompany the times of purification. You cannot miss this because every detail can be crucial to your safety. Among the most urgent revelations transmitted by Saint Michael the Archangel is the warning about an aspect that has the potential to destabilize all of humanity: the threats to global health. According to the message, known diseases and new plagues are about to emerge, bringing an impact that few can foresee. These challenges will not only be physical, but also spiritual, requiring preparation at all levels. Saint Michael was direct: diseases are once again keeping the world in suspense. This means that we are on the verge of facing health crises like never before, with diseases emerging silently but devastatingly. The moment demands vigilance, action, and above all, resistance. One of the most highlighted points in the message is that many of these diseases will not be accidental. They will arise as part of a larger system, where the quest for power will put lives at risk. Saint Michael warns that some forces will choose to use diseases as weapons to control populations, keeping them vulnerable and dependent. This may seem like a dark vision, but it is also a call for us to be alert and prepared for physical and spiritual protection. Preparation begins physically. Saint Michael emphasizes the importance of strengthening our bodies and adopting practices that increase our defenses. This includes the use of natural resources such as the oil of the Good Samaritan, mentioned as a heavenly medicine. It is not only a symbol of spiritual protection, but a practical tool against the plagues that circulate. Have you ever considered how small gestures like this can make a big difference in your health and that of your family? In addition, healthy eating and fasting are mentioned as ways to prepare physically, but also spiritually. It is not just about what we put into our bodies, but about the intention behind it. Choosing foods that nourish the body and maintaining discipline makes us more resilient both physically and spiritually. But Saint Michael also emphasizes that physical health is only one part of the whole. Spiritual strengthening is essential to face the challenges ahead. He reminds us that many illnesses affect not only the body, but also the soul, leading people to despair and loss of faith. Without a solid spiritual foundation, it will be much more difficult to endure the trials ahead. Prayer is therefore not just an act of faith, but a powerful weapon against the fear and chaos that these diseases can bring. Visiting the Blessed Sacrament, as Saint Michael recommends, helps us to keep our minds firm and our souls at peace even when the world around us seems to be collapsing. Another consequence of health crises will be social division. Saint Michael warns that diseases will create even more separation between those who seek the common good and those who will choose paths aligning themselves with destructive power systems. These moments of crisis will reveal people's true character, and the choices made during this period will define their future paths. Finally, Saint Michael reminds us that we are in a time when we cannot let our guard down. Vigilance is essential to recognize the signs, take the necessary precautions, and maintain serenity in the face of difficulties. This means being attentive to the news, but also trusting in intuition and in spiritual warnings. The world is changing rapidly, and diseases are just a part of the trials to come, but with faith, practical preparation, and unity, we can face these challenges. In the next point, we will explore how to transform these warnings into concrete actions and how to respond to the call to act before it is too late. Now, more than ever, the words of Saint Michael the Archangel echo as a definitive warning. This is the time to act, not tomorrow, not when the signs are impossible to ignore, but now. The message is clear. There are choices we need to make, habits we need to let go of, and actions that need to be taken before it's too late. The call to action begins with a simple but powerful question: What are you doing today to prepare for what's coming? There is no more room for neutrality or living on autopilot. Saint Michael's warnings show us that we are at a critical point in history where every decision has the power to shape our future, individually and as humanity. Many of us hear messages like this and think, "I should change," but we never take the next step. It ends here. Now is the time to transform intention into action. Start by taking inventory of your life. What habits do you know are keeping you from spirituality? What could you do today to strengthen your physical and emotional health? Who around you needs your help or your example? These questions may seem simple, but honesty in answering them is the first step towards a genuine transformation. Saint Michael warns us about the dangers of clinging to what is worldly and superfluous. He speaks directly about the ego, pride, and obsession with power and material goods. Now is the time to renounce what does not add value to your spiritual life. Open your hand from excess. This includes not only material goods, but also feelings such as anger, envy, and judgment. Focus on what is essential, the connection with God, the love of others, and the search for spiritual balance. This renunciation may seem difficult at first, but it opens space for greater and more significant things to enter your life. The call to conversion from Saint Michael is one of the pillars of action. This does not mean just attending churches or saying automatic prayers, but a real commitment to changing your mindset and behavior. Dedicate time to prayer. Find moments in your day to connect with God, whether in silence or in a group. Visit the Blessed Sacrament. Saint Michael emphasizes the importance of this act as a source of strength and protection. Practice humility. Recognize your faults and seek to correct them without fear or shame. Saint Michael makes it clear that we cannot go through these times alone. This is the time to strengthen ties with your family, friends, and spiritual community. Connect with people who share the same values and goals. Come together to pray, share knowledge, and support each other in difficult times. Remember, unity is our strength. Together we can resist the forces that try to divide us and lead us astray. Finally, Saint Michael challenges us to have courage. The times to come will demand more than passive faith. They will demand firm and decisive action. And acting with courage does not mean not feeling fear, but rather moving forward despite it. Protect your health using the practical guidelines mentioned, such as the oil of the Good Samaritan, and the maintenance of physical and spiritual defenses. Do not let yourself be shaken by chaos. Stay focused on what really matters, even when the world around you seems to fall apart. Be a light, inspire those around you with your actions, and show that it is possible to face purification with dignity and faith. The future depends on your choices. The actions you take now will determine how you will face the events that are to come. Do not wait any longer. The call has been made, and the decision is in your hands. Are you ready to respond? We have reached the end of this journey, but for you, this could be the beginning of something extraordinary. Saint Michael the Archangel has given us a message that is not only a warning, but also a promise of hope for those who choose the right path, for those who face challenges with courage, faith, and determination. Purification, although difficult, is not an end but a new beginning. It is the opportunity to leave behind everything that ties us to the worldly, everything that holds us back and distances us from true peace and divine light. Imagine what is to come: a renewed humanity, a world where values like compassion, humility, and spirituality are the basis of life. This is the promise at the end of darkness, and it is real for those who believe and act. To reach that future, we need to persevere. Saint Michael made it clear that the days will be difficult, but those who remain faithful and keep their hearts turned to God will find strength they never imagined they had. He says, "My heavenly legions are at your protection." This means that you are not alone on this journey. There is a greater force that guides and sustains all who choose to follow the path of light. Perseverance also involves trusting in the divine plan, even when everything seems uncertain. It is about remembering that the trials we face now are not eternal. They are like the fire that purifies gold, molding us into something greater. In the midst of difficulties, there are reasons for celebrating. Hope is not just a word, but a reality for those who have faith. Every small step you take towards transformation is a victory. Every moment of prayer, every act of kindness, every choice you make to move away from pride and selfishness is a sign that you are on the right path. By answering this call, you become an inspiration to others. Your courage and dedication show that it is possible to face difficult times with dignity and faith. You not only change yourself, but influence those around you, creating a chain of light that grows and spreads. At the end of all this, Saint Michael assures us that there is a reward for those who remain steadfast. The promise of eternal life, union with God, and an existence full of purpose and peace is what awaits us. These words are a reminder that despite all the trials, the sacrifice is worth it. Before closing, Saint Michael makes a final challenge: watch and pray. He calls us to be attentive to the signs, to strengthen our faith daily, and to never underestimate the power of prayer. This simple act is the basis of everything, the link that connects us to the divine and gives us strength to move forward. So, the final decision is in your hands. You can leave this video as you entered, or you can use everything you learned to start real action. The future depends on the choices you make now. Don't wait until it's too late to act. The time is now, and the path is before you. Before you go, take a moment to reflect. What can you do today to strengthen your faith? How can you help those around you face difficult times? Are you willing to be part of the change and respond to the call of Saint Michael? Share this message, bring this light to others who are still in the dark. The world needs hope, and you can be its bearer. May Saint Michael the Archangel protect and guide you in every step of this journey. May the divine light always be with you.